Story 1, you won't change your phone number? Challenge accepted. TLDR I got a new number, old number owner would not change her details with anyone. I fixed it. Christine used to have my phone number 3 years ago. Clearly she did not want the baggage in her life to follow to the new number. Debt collectors, old flames male and female, she was prolific if nothing else, and others. I can understand this in Christine. I hope your new life is better today. Debt collectors gave up pretty quickly. I have not heard from one of those for 2 years now. Some of the old flames were very persistent but eventually gave up as well. The last call text from her past lovers was a yearish ago. The big challenge was family, personal appointments, mostly text confirmations, why to confirm, and to cancel from doctors, hairdressers, nails, etc., and her employer. I still get the odd call text from family that can't understand why Christine didn't share her new details. Sorry, I can't help you understand her motivations. As the call texts would come in, I explained it's not her number anymore, please get her to update her details. Normal stuff for someone changing their number. People would say, thanks, we will get her to update. Over time as this continued I started getting frustrated. I cited HIPAA to medical and became a bit of a nuisance to others. That helped a bit but largely there was no change. As personal appointments kept coming in more than a year later, enough was enough. I accepted the challenge of forcing change. I ignored confirmation messages until the day before when the last confirmation typically gets sent out. I canceled everything. Gynecologist cancel, hair appointment cancel, lawyer app cancel. If they called to confirm, sorry Christine can't make it anymore. Slowly, she started changing her number. No one wants appointments they make getting canceled after waiting for weeks or months. Good luck getting in again in any reasonable time frame. The best was just over 1 year and I got a text from her boss. He wanted her to come in early for a special meeting the next day. I did the only reasonable thing and politely quit for her. The next day, I got a very terse text from her boss saying how unprofessional, unkind, not funny, etc. that my text was. My response: get Christine to FN change her number. I then got a very expletive-filled text from Christine. My response: change your number or I will keep canceling all your appointments. At that point, I don't think she realized how her appointments were getting canceled. A second, even more expletive-filled text followed. I lolled in response. Guess what? No more personal appointments. Still the occasional family member though. How lazy can you be? Hockey McHawkface says, people keep using my email address like this, so I canceled a dude's return flight. He wouldn't know until Hess at the airport because they sent the confirmation to me as well. Spider Weaver Arts says, ha. I had the same thing happen to me. She texted me angrily herself after I sent a real weird text back to the Girl Scout troop chain I kept getting added to. She said it wasn't her fault, her boyfriend was a drug addicted, her words, and had to get a new phone. I just told her getting a new phone does not prevent you from telling your family or daughter's troop and school that your number changed. Then I sent her a screenshot every single time someone texted me something meant for her. She apologized after the third one I sent and said, oh God, that must be so annoying. Brief history 6838 says, about 10 years ago I started getting countless random sales calls. Everything from insurance, stock market tips, ISPs, you name it. All looking for a woman with a very unique name. It all just started randomly one morning with no warning. I got 12 calls all looking for the same woman, next day even more. I had no idea WTF was going on. Eventually one of the women who called told me that this person had entered a competition on Facebook and listed my phone number as hers. So she intentionally had me spammed for a competition she had entered. I was pissed. I did a quick search and found her on Facebook. She was the only one with that name in my entire country. Turns out we had a mutual friend, my next door neighbor. She was dating his little brother at the time and he didn't like me very much. All the pieces began to fit together. He probably gave her my number. I contacted her about this situation and she denied all knowledge of what was going on. I began telling people sorry, she was hit by a car last week and didn't make it. Eventually the calls stopped. Still get stock investment BS every couple months though. I tell him to fuck off. Story 2, an oldie, but a goodie. So, this is old, but I was just sharing it with someone and thought I'd share here too. It's important to know that my husband and I don't believe in hoarding supplies. We've been through hurricanes, other natural disasters and, obviously the pandemic, and have never had to do without, so we hate when others do this. During the pandemic my husband and I were grocery shopping. Now this was well into the pandemic where mostly shortages were over, but once in a while things would get scarce. We were headed to get toilet paper and the folks in front of us were a mother and teenage girl. I overheard the mother say we only need toilet paper and baby wipes important for later. But I bet you already know the ending. As we got to the TP aisle, I noted there were only 3 12-packs left on the shelf. The woman and her daughter could clearly see we were standing behind her to get some, as was an anthet couple, but she picked up all of them. Her daughter even whispered that we were there to get some. Before she walked away, the mother looked at the TP in her cart, looked at us, shrugged her shoulders, and smirked as if to say, "Ha ha. I got them all." She must have gone somewhere else in the store because I took every adult wipe from that aisle and then headed straight for the children's aisle where I took every container of baby wipe. I was leaving the aisle when she appeared. She took one look at my cart and knew. I continued my shopping, watched her check out, and then put every container back because, as I said, I don't hoard and I didn't want other parents to suffer. Likely, she went somewhere else and found baby wipes, as I did to get TP, but I thought that one inconvenience deserved another. Coder Joe once says, a perfect remedy for a shitty situation. Kara says, my favorite part of pandemic revenge stories is that my store and probably a lot of others stopped taking returns. So all of these people that came in 23 times to get their limit of 3 packs of toilet paper and spent tons of money they didn't have on toilet paper couldn't return them. We didn't open up returns until 36 months later, and even then it was only on items bought within the last week. I imagine there are still people out there using toilet paper that they bought in 2020, much like a dragon sitting on a hoard of gold. Only in Japan 99999 says, should have traded TP for baby wipe. Story 3, wrong number. Years ago I kept getting calls on my direct line at work from Carl's Jr. employees who had broken deep fryers. I don't know if my number was similar to their repair line number or if Carl's Jr. had listed the wrong number or if my number was the same but wrong area code. All I know is that about once a week I'd get a call from a panicking employee at a different Carl's Jr. I'd tell them I didn't work for Carl's Jr., that this was not the repair line. Please update your phone number listing. This went on for about 6 months. Finally it had enough and I just told the caller I'll have someone there within an hour to fix it. Happened again the next week. I'll have someone there within an hour to fix it. Never heard from Carl's Jr. employees again after that. QTCHR says, a few years ago I had bill collectors calling my new recycled phone number asking for the same person each time. It went on for months until one day I kinda snapped and said, no, but if you find her call me back. That BTCH owes me money. I never heard from them again. Snatch YM Scrabberson says, I once had a phone number that was very similar to a nearby McDonald's. I frequently receive calls asking for employees. After months of telling the caller's wrong number, I started telling them sorry, they were fired, or they are off today, etc. The responses I got were colorful, to say the least. Wampus Fails says, back in the days of dial-up, or maybe early days of DSL? I got a separate line in my name so I could go online without monopolizing the house phone. Quickly, bill collectors found out about my new phone number and started spamming my line. Apparently, there was another me out there, with a different middle initial, who owed a lot of debt. I think it was my paranoid rant of no, I'm not going to give you any of my personal information, you're just trying to steal my identity that convinced them that they had the wrong me. Thanks for watching, I love you. Follow Reddit Echoes for more.